Here's a question I want you to actually sit with, not skim past, not answer in 2 seconds and move on. Actually sit with. Imagine you wake up tomorrow and someone hands you proof, undeniable, scientific, airtight proof, that in 500 years, nothing you have ever done will have left a single trace. Your name gone. The people you loved gone. Every decision you agonized over, every sacrifice you made, everything you built or broke or tried to fix, erased, completely, like you were never here. Does that change what you do today? Most people feel something shift when they hear that, a kind of low-level dread. Because if the answer is yes, if meaning requires permanence, then we've got a serious problem. Because nothing is permanent. Not you, not anyone you love, not this civilization, not this planet. Given enough time, it all goes quiet. So either nothing matters, or we've been thinking about mattering completely wrong. A French philosopher named Albert Camus spent his entire life on that question, and the answer he came up with is called absurdism. And I think it might be the most honest thing anyone has ever written about what it means to be alive. This is going to get uncomfortable, so stay with me. Let's start with the actual problem, because absurdism isn't just nothing matters, so who cares? That's nihilism, and Camus thought nihilism was lazy. He was solving something much harder. Here's what Camus noticed. There is a war inside every human being, not a metaphorical war, a real, daily, grinding conflict that most of us feel, and almost none of us name. On one side of this war, you, me, every person who has ever lived. Human beings are meaning-making machines. We are almost embarrassingly desperate for things to make sense. We need our suffering to have a reason. We need the story of our lives to be going somewhere. We need to feel like the things we do matter, not just to us, but in some larger sense, like the universe is paying attention. On the other side, the universe, which is completely, totally, almost insultingly silent on the subject. You ask, why am I here? Silence. You ask, does any of this matter? Silence. You pour yourself into something, a relationship, a career, a belief, and it falls apart, and you look up, and the universe just keeps going. Stars still burning, traffic still moving. The world, utterly indifferent to what just happened to you. Camus called this gap, the space between what humans desperately need and what the universe refuses to give. The absurd, capital A. Not a feeling, not a mood, a condition. The permanent, unchangeable condition of being a conscious creature in an indifferent universe. And here's the part that made Camus different from almost every philosopher before him. He didn't think you could fix it. Not with logic, not with religion, not with therapy or productivity or the right mindset. The absurd isn't a problem to be solved. It's the water we swim in. It's just what being human is. So the question isn't, how do I resolve the absurd? The question is, given that I can't, what do I do? Camus said when confronted with the absurd, with the knowledge that life has no built-in meaning, there are exactly 3 ways a person can respond. He thought 2 of them were forms of cowardice. The first response, physical suicide. If nothing ultimately matters, why keep going? Some people follow the logic all the way to the end. Camus took this seriously, more seriously than most philosophers are comfortable with. He opened his most famous essay, The Myth of Sisyphus, with a line that still hits like a punch. There is but one truly serious philosophical problem, and that is suicide. He wasn't romanticizing it. He was doing the opposite. He was saying if you believe life is meaningless, you can't just shrug and keep scrolling. You have to actually reckon with why you're still here. The question deserves a real answer, not a distraction. But Camus rejected suicide as that answer, not because life is secretly meaningful. He never claimed that. He rejected it because it's an escape. It's letting the absurd win. You're running from the problem instead of standing in it. The second response, philosophical suicide. This one is more common and sneakier. This is when the silence of the universe becomes too much to sit with, so you replace it with something that feels like an answer, a religion, an ideology, a belief that suffering is part of a plan, a conviction that history is bending toward justice. A story that makes the absurd go away. Camus called this the leap, leaping past the problem into faith, or certainty, or ideology. And he had no interest in talking you out of whatever you believe. But philosophically, he saw it as the same move as giving up. You've taken the most honest question a human being can ask. Does any of this mean anything? And you've traded it for comfort. You're still running. You've just built a more comfortable room to hide in. So what's the third response? Revolt. This is Camus' answer. And the first time you really hear it, it sounds almost too simple to be the answer. But the more you sit with it, the more it becomes the only thing that makes sense. Revolt means this: don't escape, don't leap, don't numb yourself. Look the absurd directly in the face. Know that there is no cosmic meaning, that the universe will never explain itself, that nothing you do will last forever, and then live anyway, fully, loudly, defiantly. Not because you've found a secret meaning nobody else knows about. Not because you're pretending it doesn't bother you, but because your life, with all its pointlessness and uncertainty and mess, is still yours. And the living of it is the only answer worth giving. That's revolt, and Camus thought it was the only truly honest response to being human. To show you what he meant, Camus reached back into Greek mythology and pulled out a story about the most pointless punishment ever designed. Sisyphus was a king, clever, cunning, so cunning that he cheated death twice. The gods, as you might expect, were not impressed. His punishment was this: he would spend eternity rolling a massive boulder up a steep hill. Every time he reached the top, the boulder would roll back down, and he would walk back down after it and push it back up forever. If you were designing a torture for a philosopher, this would be it. No progress, no accumulation, no meaning, just endless, repetitive, pointless effort until the end of time. On paper, this is the worst story in mythology. But Camus looked at this myth and said something that has been stopping people cold for 70 years. One must imagine Sisyphus happy, not resigned, not broken, not numb to it all, happy. And you have to ask, how? How is that not insane? Here's Camus' answer, and I want you to actually think about this because it's subtle. Sisyphus knows. That's the whole thing. He has no illusions about his situation. He doesn't tell himself that one day the boulder will stay at the top. He doesn't believe the gods will relent. He has no hope of the situation changing, no story that makes it secretly meaningful, no comfort at all. He knows exactly what his existence is, and in knowing it fully, in owning it completely, the punishment transforms. The rock is no longer something being done to him. It's his rock, his hill, his struggle, the thing that makes him Sisyphus. Camus is making a radical argument. The moment you stop waiting for the universe to justify your existence, and you claim your life as yours, all of it, the suffering and the repetition and the uncertainty, you are no longer a victim of meaninglessness. You are the person who chose to keep going in full knowledge of what going means. That is not defeat. That is the only form of freedom that is actually available to us. Sisyphus pushes the boulder, and Camus says he's happy because it's his boulder. Okay, Greek myth is one thing. What does any of this mean when you're a real person with real problems and a phone full of things you haven't replied to? Here's what I think absurdism is actually saying to you. Most of the low-level anxiety that lives in the background of modern life, the sense that you're behind, that you haven't figured it out yet, that everyone else is further along, comes from a hidden assumption, that your choices only count if they count permanently, that your life only means something if it leaves a lasting mark, that joy is only valid if it's building towards something bigger. Absurdism doesn't gently challenge that assumption. It destroys it. If the universe isn't keeping score, if there is no cosmic ledger where your choices are being evaluated against some ultimate standard, then you are genuinely, terrifyingly, exhilaratingly free. Free to decide what matters to you, right now, in this life, without needing the universe's permission. That thing you keep putting off because the timing isn't right. The timing will never be cosmically right. There is no cosmically right. There's just now, that thing you love, but feel guilty about because it's not productive. Productive toward what? The universe doesn't have a preference. You're allowed to just love it, the grief or the anger or the care you feel over something that shouldn't affect you this much. It matters because you're here, and it happened, and you felt it. That is enough. That has always been enough. This is Camus's revolt, not rage, not a middle finger at the void, though honestly, sometimes that too. It's the quiet, daily, radical decision to take your own experience seriously, not because the universe agrees with you, but because you do. And that, not permanence, not legacy, not cosmic approval, is what mattering actually is. So, the question I asked at the start, if nothing you did would leave a trace in 500 years, does that change what you do today? Camus would say, it should change how, not what you do. The things you still love. The people who matter still matter. But how you do it, with less waiting, less postponing your real life until everything makes sense, less apologizing for being uncertain and unfinished and human. The boulder doesn't get lighter. The hill doesn't get shorter. The universe isn't going to break its silence. But you are here, right now, conscious, asking questions that matter to no one but you, which is the only reason questions have ever mattered to anyone. Sisyphus walks back down the hill. He picks up the boulder, and he pushes. One must imagine him happy. Maybe that's not a tragedy. Maybe, if you're honest about it, that's exactly what a life is supposed to feel like.